All right, we are back for our final match of the day. It's going to be a barn burner, I hope, between Malaysia and Team Mexico. What are you hoping to see out here, Ben?
Well, this is an opportunity for Mexico to play against the best of the best. Malaysia, a very strong team with a reputation for excellence.
Yep.
And we got the home field advantage right now for Mexico.
Yeah, and coming into this match in the men's division, Malaysia sitting in second place, 4 wins, 1 loss, and a plus 42 point differential. Mexico not that far behind them in fourth, 4 wins, 1 loss, and a plus 22 point differential. In between them, we saw in the last match Canada dropping their first one of the tournament to Australia, 4 win, 1 loss, plus 33.
Move to third place.
Yeah, Canada sliding down from second to third. Mexico currently in fourth, Australia in fifth place, 4 wins, 2 losses, and plus 16 on the points.
So this match might shift Australia's position if Mexico ends up losing, right? Is that they were there at 4-1?
I think if Mexico loses by 6 or more points, I believe then they would drop down below Australia. Yes.
And we're definitely not at the point where individual games need to matter for seeding, but it is starting to take effect.
Yeah, we're seeing those standings kind of.
The top 2 are the top 2, right?
Yeah. And just for interest's sake, we won't go into the details as much, but behind Australia in 5th, we've got Hong Kong in 6th, Great Britain in 7th, New Zealand 8th, Argentina 9th, Italy 10th, and Norway 11th. So.
And we're watching Italy and Norway in the distance. Well distinguished with very red and very blue jerseys. Yeah,
pretty easy to tell them apart, even from all the way up here, that's true. Norway and Italy, the only other match happening in this time slot. We would like to wish a happy Thanksgiving to our American viewers and friends. You will, well, you might not notice, but there aren't a lot of Americans left in this venue as they've gone off to celebrate.
They are observing the day.
But that does mean you're going to see an awful lot of them on the stream tomorrow. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 matches featuring the men's and women's teams for Team USA tomorrow. Yep.
Mexico's bringing the noise. There's likely family and friends in the stands.
Yeah, and I think this is one that the team's going to want to get that energy from their fans and their friends. Malaysia, obviously defending world champions 3 times running. And Mexico really looking to crack that group of the elite teams here in the WDBF. They've been just a little bit outside of it for a little while now, but they've got some talent.
Well, and especially now, hosting the World Dodgeball Championship, it puts a lot of attention on their program and the growth in the nation, just in terms of as a fellow World Dodgeball Federation organization. So it's fun to have all the other teams from the other nations come and participate and kind of support Mexico as it grows.
Yeah, I'd say so. These events often good for inspiring growth in the local dodgeball scenes and in the national program. So
I particularly enjoyed watching they brought in youth during the opening ceremony. It just seemed like it reminded me of different baseball games where you can see the opening ceremonies and there's like 7, 8-year-olds alongside the athletes.
Yeah, they also brought in that really interesting display with the, I don't even know what to call it, but the game where they were hitting the
Mayan game.
Hitting the balls back and forth with hips.
Yeah, I thought I've hurt my hips playing dodgeball, but I couldn't imagine an entire game made out of that.
Yeah, agreed. And just off the hop, we see Sanchez eliminated. Good rush play by Malaysia. And yeah, we see another good shot onto Valdez.
Accurate cross.
So now Malaysia on the defensive while Mexico comes to the line. You see the shot from De La Riva.
And the crossfires.
And I think that was Quicochea hit out on the far side as well. So Malaysia coming out with some good accurate throws to start this match. Close call, but no luck.
Ball burden for Mexico. See how they line it up. Center player throwing at the guard unsuccessfully.
Yeah, that was Anthony Carmona.
So now you put in the accent emphasis.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying to make my peers here proud, but let's be real. It's an effort. So we've got the pressure from Malaysia coming, and I think they found that hit on Carmona.
Left guard, strong throw.
Yeah, we're seeing Malaysia just really connecting on those throws. They're very active on defense too.
Ooh.
That one collided with the ball retriever.
He put his hand up to make sure it was clear that that sound came from him.
And De La Riva hit out on the far side though.
1v situation now. 1v the team.
Yeah, the whole team.
But at this point, quick
And
to slow it. Oh,
hey, there's maybe the first.
But
so I think the refs blew the whistle, so that hit's not going to count. They were trying to say those two balls had to go over. I didn't see what led to it, but
yeah.
there are some conditions under which.
So one of the situations might have been if a ball rolled in improperly from a retriever and hit a ball that was in play, those balls get forfeited. So.
Yeah, you got to be mindful of keeping those balls under control. They can't interfere with the play. You can pitch them back into your players or to where you think the player's going to be, but you do not want to have an impact on the match otherwise.
Course, the act of retrieving is its own skill. Just understanding when to roll, when to bounce, when to pass it off to another retriever so that, and that's the match.
Yeah, Andy Meadowquinn hit in the foot there, I think by a couple of different shots. Yeah. And I think he's looking around trying to say like, hey, why'd you have to give my balls to them?
Yeah, and sometimes you find with like newer nations, there's newer players, and just kind of learning a little bit more of the nuances. And as someone who was even refereeing, just like there's so many details to this full-fledged sport now.
For sure. We've had to add things in to the rule books to cover situations that had never come up before, or sometimes clever teams exploiting something in the rules for a little while. The rules committee does need to decide when to shut those things down if they aren't healthy for the game. But there's also opportunity, and we see some hits back and forth starting things off. Sanchez hit out, and I can't actually tell who that Malaysian player hit out was.
I feel like the commentary team needs to be the final vote for any jersey design. And I love Mexico's right now.
Yeah.
It is incredibly easy to see, even if it's white writing.
High contrast. High contrast. I know, whereas I like the Malaysia jersey from up close and personal, but from up here, we've mentioned it earlier on the stream, it's tough to read.
I'd sooner be able to call Italy and Norway off in the distance.
Yeah. So now we see Valdez and Carmona. Oh, that looks like a solid hit.
Yep. Hey, it's a competitive match, 2v2 right now.
Yeah. This one a lot more competitive than the first set. Malaysia now approaching the line. And that one, connecting. Just that ball looked like it just kind of dropped onto Carmona.
Yep, and likely intentional.
Yeah.
A lot of Malaysian players have the ability to curve and sink the ball.
Yeah, it's one of the ways to make your throw really dynamic, hard to block, hard to evade, if you can really bend it.
Do you call that a drop shot?
Yeah, I mean, I think baseball-wise, you just call that a curveball, but in dodgeball, a lot of people seem to call it a drop. And Valdez, I think, staying alive.
Yep. 1v2 situation.
It's actually a throw. It took me a little while to get the hang of how to get the ball to drop like that, but super useful in some situations.
Ball's up, but out of play. Oh, no, it was. He was concerned with the white line, but that was not the one that he needs to be worried about.
Yeah, that might have been a catchable ball, but dangerous to go for it. Valdez, good lateral movement, staying alive.
We're noticing Malaysia not dumping all the balls to try and hit the Mexico player. Keeping two back, ready to defend and pressure when they want right now.
Yeah, and still alive is Valdez.
Yeah, he's having a good match.
And the count is on him.
You can see him taking a moment to kind of set the hand position on the ball to make sure potentially to do things like a curveball.
Yeah. A lot of players like to hold the ball a specific way. And so far those shots from Malaysia not finding the mark. I think that last one did, yep. So good work. I know one of the players out there for Malaysia, number 4, Norm Adam Simonite. One of the few numbers I could actually make out right now.
It really does feel like camouflage from this distance.
Maybe that's the point. They don't want us to be able to say.
This unidentified player is very skillful. That way the game tape doesn't reveal.
I have to say, too, I really like the Mexican women's team jerseys earlier. They had that darker green.
Yeah,
I thought it looks really sharp. Might be my favorite jersey of the tournament so far. And that was Ravichandran missing off the rush. And Malaysia does end up with the extra ball, so they're going to head up to the line. And we see just one shot coming in.
Excellent pump fake, though. Very convincing. Anytime I see a player like that, their arm reaches their knee on a pump fake, it's just, I know it's scaring me back.
Yeah, one of the ways, nice attempt there from Hukuchea. One of the ways you can work on a pump fake is go through your full throwing motion, but just don't let go. You want a convincing pump fake, just do the same thing you do with a normal throw and don't let go. And that shot bouncing a little short from De La Riva. Malaysia now coming up with 3 balls.
Cannon.
Sanchez hit out.
Oh, I almost thought it bounced and hit a shoe. It already hit the ground there.
De La Riva bouncing into a sitting position, but popping back up. And now Mexico to the line. Now that one missing. So Malaysia again back on the offensive.
Just trading throws right now. Oh, was it a disarm or a hit first? I don't know with 21.
I think Maraquin was putting that ball down after he did get hit. Looked deliberate. So maybe he just got him on the fingers.
And then excellent dodging by number 11 there. Keeps his body low and pulls his arm and ball up.
Yeah, and I think honestly the Malaysian side, masters of doing that. Almost every single player, so good at getting behind the ball.
Yeah, I've never felt more inflexible than watching Malaysia even just warm up for the game.
Yeah. And that one looking for confirmation. But yeah, I think the player is safe. We see Malaysia back up to the line. A little bit of pressure being faced from Mexico, but active dodging from Mexico. Ooh, big shot from De La Riva. Ooh. We saw Carmona's shot, not caught, but he was hit out, and I think, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's a full sweep.
The set. And some of the things that we're talking about, which is kind of the rules adapting as time passes, and the unique throwing styles having an effect of the ball, and as well as the kind of the physicality of the Malaysian players. It's just an example of dodgeball emerging as another top-level sport, where you can manipulate the ball. There's constant iteration and growth with the sport, again, as evidenced by the rules getting deeper and deeper in depth.
Yeah, harder to ref though sometimes.
Harder to ref. Boy, is it ever. Especially as WDAF takes on 2 playing styles.
Oh, that's a big shot. It pops up and it's caught. Sanchez tracks down his own rebound.
So I believe this might be Mexico's first player advantage.
I think you are correct.
See what they make of it. Good pump fakes and a great hit.
Yeah, they connect. Oh, Sanchez hit out.
The shadow player, Sanchez gets out.
Yeah, but Mexico able to eliminate 2 so far. You see them to the line. That shot from Valdez missing. I think that one blocked by Hukuchea.
And managed to keep his leg in because I thought he was about to sweep out.
The ref's telling everyone to get back to the line. Not sure what caused the stoppage.
Well, it could be all manners of things, and it's better to kind of have a clean court.
And we see Malaysia coming up, trying to bait out the defensive moves. Maraquin. A lot of players now using that that just kind of stop.
Yeah. I feel it's like a pump block.
Yeah.
You're making a motion, and then you're protecting yourself right after.
Yeah, leaving the ball in a good blocking position. Looking stylish while doing it is Andy Maraquin. And yeah, on the back pedal, Carmona.
Oh, I thought he was going to take that one in the catch.
Yeah, and back and forth we see an exchange.
Shots fired.
Sheng hit out on the far side. And yeah, Mexico still player edge.
2 up.
Close call, but
some great arms on Team Mexico.
I believe that's Robert CK again on the right side, longtime member of Team Malaysia. And that shot, probably not quite where he wanted to put it. Kind of laughing about it a little bit. I think that might be Pyong on the left side. Ooh, nice release. That ball bouncing all the way back.
Cross-court cannon. Yeah, that was fortunate there. Unfortunate that it was a Mexico coach that got hit.
Here's the rush. That shot sailing high.
Flying into the Sky Zone trampoline park sign.
Yeah, that's a couple of balls out of Pyong that are just getting away from him, I think. He does like to curve them a bit, but sometimes if you don't get that release right.
Violent, amazing throws.
That fake
Cross
drawing.
court.
Ooh, wow.
Skillful
Hitting.
blocking, but he's called up.
Yeah, De La Riva hit out. We see one thing that the Mexican players are having trouble dealing with is Malaysia will sell those giant fakes and then the other player will actually take the shot. But Mexico fans and the sideline cheering for the team.
Here from Mexico.
One of the nice things about being the home team. And Pyong with the big fake. Robert not taking the shot. Pointing to their target. And yeah, big shot by Metaquin. It's just Pyong and Huikache connects. Mexico is on the board.
There we have a win. Now 3 versus 1. Malaysia with the advantage.
And I'm not sure what the score on the far court is now. I know Italy was up 2-0 not too long ago.
Request for a telescopic photo.
Yeah, denied.
We need the our sort of spy goggles that we can just zoom in. Hopefully competitive match, Norway versus Italy. Norway managed to eke out a few wins against. Here's some action, but against the Venezuelan team, and pull out one win against Malaysia right at the end. But both teams were somewhat having fun at that point.
You see Malaysia again, so quick off the rush. They hit Sanchez one more time, but they also lose one in the exchange.
Play is being coordinated by Mexico.
Valdez this time the thrower, and as he's backpedaling, the shot comes a little short. But I like what that Malaysian shot was trying to do, catch him in the feet as he backed off. Oh wow, big shot from Huikache, and I think as well Metaquin connecting.
So Valdez and Metaquin, you can see that they did the play call in those two situations and made the throw. One of the things you'd look for is that if I can notice that, Malaysia can notice that. I want them to start to mix up the play call a little bit, but the shots fired have been great.
I think we see Simonite switching to the middle, Ravichandran in the right, and gets away from that shot. Oh no! Calling his own number out as he walks off to the side.
Shots like that, so hard to tell from any angle, let alone having 4 refs on the court.
Little hop approach there.
I can see that smile from here.
Yeah. He's a feisty player, Andy Metaquin. Malaysia bracing for the attack. And yeah, those shots connect.
Multiple shots connecting. And a 1v situation, 1v4. Hey, Mexico's on a bit of a run.
David Huang it out. And just missing Carmona.
Gosh, we had that move again.
Yep. This time he connects. Second time's the charm. Still 3 to go. Whoa, Huikache seeing that one from a long distance. That was a 50-foot shot.
Still strong.
Yeah, coming close. One interesting thing about throwing those balls away is even though you've given up those extra balls, there are only 3 throwers, so.
And in general, I support that play. If you have 2 balls in your hand and you release one as a preemptive strike, you still have another one available, and then you're in a catching and defending situation.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine to let that one go, as long as you aren't giving the other team another ball that they can throw. Like if they have 4 players and you give them a 4th ball, I mean that can be difficult. Malaysia using a time between points here to just talk a little bit more. And Mexico only down by 1 now, 3-2 in favor of Malaysia with 8.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Oh, and there we see the shot. I believe that was Valdez.
Valdez is a very strong left guard.
Yeah, Mexico feeling fired up, I think. Carmona with the shot.
Up and tags him.
Yeah, just gets the graze. And knocking Wayne Kent Ing out of the points.
We really need some sort of spy filter that we put it over their jersey, we can see the numbers.
Yeah, it's like for anybody who played computer games in the late 80s, those red little plastic paper things.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'd find it in a cereal box.
Oh, big shot. Huikache knocked out. I remember that was copy protection in some games I'd play. Maniac Mansion would need me to do that just to unlock something. Ooh, another shot. We see Carmona knocked out. And another one.
Those back and forth.
Yeah, we see Ravichandran knocked out on the other side.
Coming to the line.
I like this match. It's pretty explosive most of the time.
Yeah, like strong arms at both sides.
Close call. And just a quick update. Italy is now up 5-0 on Norway.
Italy trying to separate itself from Venezuela.
Oh, Argentina.
Yeah.
Different South American country. We saw another shot from Metaquin connecting. It's a 2-on-2 now.
Well, one of the things I'm noticing about this match so far is both teams are very willing to throw from well behind the center line.
Yep. Very confident in their throws.
Yep. And then very effective.
Ooh. That one really popping off the ball retriever at the back.
Well, one of the things I think it does is eliminate a little bit of the counter game.
And Valdez staying alive. I think Metaquin hit out though,
One quickly ended.
And one thing that we've mentioned before that this Malaysian team does really well is just kind of disguise the timing of what they're doing and varying the timing. It's kind of erratic. It's not just like one pump fake go. It's anything you can think of they might be doing.
Well, being unorthodox is incredibly important to a high strategy game, because once you're predictable, you're allowing another player's muscle memory to defend.
I mean, I think it's important to master the fundamentals first, so if you're out there trying to think what to do...
Step one isn't play like Malaysia.
No goodness. Sanchez hit out again off the rush. He's been an easy target, I think, for Malaysia, since they're finding him right up at the line, and they're so fast. Carmona hit out as well.
Well, if you can dominate the opening rush, to me that's a 1/3 component of the entire game.
Chea knocked out, and we see the back pedal, a little scooch backward from De La Riva. And those shots, I think, the second one blocked.
Yeah.
First one skipping in a little bit short.
Notice how Malaysia had a low high there. But, the floor protected the first shot.
And they find Ravichandran in the middle. The first casualty of the set for Malaysia. And that counter shot connecting. Great shot by Metaquin. Another one. That time from Valdez, So 4-on-3 edge for Team Malaysia right now, but Mexico with the extra ball. Some big throws back and forth.
Up, down, left, right by the center player.
And you see another elimination, so 3-on-3 now.
We're even.
Mexico hoping to close that gap back to only 1 point. Valdez with a little sidestep.
Certainly unorthodox in his movements as a left guard.
Hey, whatever works for you sometimes.
I like it. Oh, what a jump.
Yeah, good. That guy probably box jumps in the gym.
Yeah.
Malaysia. Oh yeah. That's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, an incredible workout. And very useful for this sport. Even it's not necessarily for the act of jumping, it's for your body's quick twitch movements. And it is a great strength builder.
Yeah, a lot of power on these throws actually comes from your lower body. And we see Team Malaysia attacking. They find De La Riva and Valdez. Good shots. Yep.
We got a 1v1 situation. Left guard left on for his own devices here against 3 Malaysian players.
Yeah, Metaquin alone. He's still doing fine. Comes up confidently. Sends that one a little high. And so does the return shot go a little high. Ooh. Everybody missing high.
Survived the cross-court throw. Incredible court awareness on his part.
Yeah, maybe just peripheral vision saying, threat, threat. And
good active blocking.
Yeah, as long as only one ball's coming in, he seems to be dealing with them pretty well. He's going to have to worry, though, if 2 Chargers get to come at him. Oh, he throws both, I think. I understand wanting to take the chance, but I think we saw in the match before with Canada versus Australia that throwing 2 balls sometimes just leaves you a little too exposed. Meadowquinn would have had a tough time anyway against 3, but
Yep.
yeah, he tried to go for it, tried to close the odds a little bit sooner. But instead, we see Malaysia take the point up 5-2 with 3.5, I think, remaining in the first half. And I think we see a false start. I think that's on the Mexican side, is the false start.
Yep.
And the refs are going to talk anyway.
It'd be the first false start for Mexico, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so curious what the issue is, because if it was 2 in this half, then we have to deal with a penalty.
Yeah, I can't quite tell what the discussion is. I think right now, though, it's just like, hey, everybody on the back line. And they're off. No false starts this time. So fast again. Ooh, missing point blank. Wow, that was not the player I expected to be eliminated, but Huikachea.
Malaysia's not about to use the player, or they are? Okay. Yep.
So that may have been that a ball thrown was not cleared.
And off in the distance, I see Norway has got 3 players to 1 against Italy.
Yeah, so maybe going to pick up a point here.
And they got a win.
Yeah, and they look excited back there. While we see the huddle from Mexico, we can steal a glance at the other match. Oh, and there we see Carmona hit out on the counter.
Oh, excellent shot on the shoes.
That's a great place to aim. And now Malaysia.
Well, he had a perfect angle on it. Woo, up.
Good jump.
Yeah. Good, but not great blocking.
Yeah. De La Riva hit out. Yeah, Norway getting their first point confirmed. They are still down 5-1, but every point feels like a win. I guess every point is a type of win.
Yes. Not a match win, set win, but and I was discussing with that team, like even small improvements for them or catches or wins. It was just so fun to watch a team like that kind of grow during the tournament. High-level competition is the best way to improve in my mind as a player.
Yeah, and there's no higher level of competition in foam dodgeball than this event. You see the Mexican team coming to the line. Meadowquinn throwing. And I think he was hit out there with losing the headband.
Losing headband is just such a strong player. Hopefully not too much sweat made it onto the court.
Valdez now missing a little bit high. I've seen a teammate accidentally knock the sunglasses off of somebody in a beach dodgeball game. Ooh, Valdez with a throw.
I tell you, it's better than getting it knocked into the bridge of your nose. As a fellow glasses wearer,
concur.
There's very few pains that compare to a shot straight for the glasses.
I actually won't play if I don't get my contact lenses in personally. So.
Funny enough, I do play with glasses, but and so you get hit in the head sometimes, and it gets a lot of empathy from the other players.
True.
And funny enough, if ever you get bruising, it's just because like the glasses pushed into your body.
Yeah, and just going to see if Valdez can survive. No, I think both shots found him.
Yeah, either way, they went high and low again. They coordinate themselves well with the throws.
Yeah, and very accurate. I think that's one of the things that's the most impressive to me about this Malaysian team is on offense, even when the other team's ready, their throws are just still really, really accurate.
Sometimes I'm wondering if they practice from a farther back line. Their throws are so good, and the frequency of them throwing up to 10 feet back is really impressive.
Do you think if we ask them their training secrets, they'll share them?
Oh, I don't think so. But what we're seeing is their playing prowess put into work, so the training is working.
Two quick hits and another one this time on. Yeah, Huikachea and Sanchez knocked out for Mexico, but they also found, I think that's Gunting on the far side for Malaysia.
You can see that he was kind of left vulnerable, lying pancaking on the ground. Ooh.
Yeah, Valdez hit out there.
The retriever was grabbing the ball. I thought Valdez was grabbing it for a second.
Oh, that was Pyong letting go with the shot. Ooh, they find Carmona. That was Robert on the right side.
The left guard with the active motion, but I don't know if it's convincing anyone. He's keeping loose at the very least.
It's not about I might throw this. It's more about I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, and even your peripherals, just kind of seeing that constant motion can be distracting.
Wow, beautiful throw.
Yes.
That one blocked by Robert. The whistle goes. That is halftime.
Not like it went quickly.
Yeah, not as frantic as we sometimes see the countdown to the sudden death being, but
I would almost wonder if I'm surprised that we didn't have fans in the stands counting it down. But, this will be a good one. Lots of players on the Malaysia end. No blocking.
No blocking at all. Not even a little. We often see players in no blocking electing to take those shots.
Especially the player who's holding like the 2 balls. Because you have to keep your balls in the court when you start the game.
Yeah, and if you've got a good throw, it's a good time to try and use it, but you also don't want to give up all the balls. Something we saw Canada do a few times in the last match.
If you're listening, Canada, maybe lesson learned.
Yeah, maybe lesson throws.
Lesson. Well done. Okay, Malaysia, lots of balls right now, and the players.
And they find Medoquin.
Down to 1v situation, 1v3. Attempted catch.
De La Riva hit out as well.
The third ball, close to being a catch, but the first one kills him. Okay, here we are at the half. Some high-fiving amongst the Malaysian players. Both teams headed to the benches.
7-2 for Malaysia right now. We're going to have an even harder time seeing their numbers on the other side. That's okay. They know their numbers.
So if you're staying in an all-inclusive, be sure to get the serial and look through it for our decoder ring so we can see it from a distance.
And one-on-one happening on the other side between Norway and Italy.
Do we see the number for Norway?
I can't see that. I can see that it's number 17, DeSantis, for Italy.
Because it's a brilliant back of the jersey. Again, contrast.
He's also got a very specific style.
Maybe a step out?
Yeah.
For Norway.
We're trying to commentate a game that's, what, like 400 feet away?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we don't have to be accurate. It's the refs that have to have good eyes.
Bonus commentary.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'd imagine, honestly, Mexico has been playing all right, I think. Malaysia, a lot more accurate. So I think that's the main difference is it's hard for the coaching staff to just say, like, hey, hit your shots more.
And like, unlike the match we saw previously, not too many like exchanges of catches. Like, there is catching for sure, but a lot of strong, accurate throws that, I'm not saying uncatchable, but both these teams have strong arms.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that these two teams are both kind of throwing teams more than anything else. I think Mexico has some very powerful throws.
Yep. Particularly the guards.
Yeah. And Malaysia has a lot of like very accurate throws with a ton of movement. And they're very smart about when to take them. I think you can just see that they're good at catching the other team off balance, maybe throwing at times when their opponents aren't expecting it, or when their opponents are a little bit off balance and not able to react as well as they might have otherwise. The score update from the far court looks like it is 6-1 in favor of Italy over Norway. Just want to remind you, we've got a giant slate of games coming tomorrow as well. Just starting in the morning, the first match, you're going to be able to see a men's match between USA and Australia, another men's match between Hong Kong and Mexico, a women's match between Mexico and the USA, and then a men's match between Mexico and Canada, a women's match between USA and Canada, a men's match between USA and Canada. Hey, there's a handstand on the court right now. Anyway, that was Sheng. And then a women's match between Canada and Australia. And capping it all off, Mexico versus USA men's. So looks like we're seeing a lot of Mexico, Canada, and the Americans.
Yeah.
And a little dose of Australians and Hong Kong as well.
So it's a heavy North America day.
Yeah.
Let's hope that more of the Malaysian players do handstands so we can, maybe when they get hit, we can request that they do a handstand.
Yeah. Yeah, before you're eligible to come back on, could you please do this for us?
Yeah. That said, we'd have to be reading the number backwards. And,
yeah. Also, if they ask us to do handstands, pass.
Could barely walk down the stairs here.
Yeah. I've had a close call once or twice.
They're the height of these individual steps.
Yep.
There's a final one there. Really
And they're not perfectly even, so you gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
The athletes have to pay attention to each other. We have to pay attention to these stationary stairs.
Yeah, to each their own.
Yeah. We all have our struggles. And they're off.
Quick. rush, twist,
Yeah.
strike onto 22.
I think that might have been a double too. Sanchez
Wow.
out as well. Pyong with that turnaround throw. Pretty good power on it considering he wasn't exactly playing it on the ground.
Yeah, or at all.
Yeah.
That's a Derek Jeter throw there.
Carmona wishing that he'd caught that.
Yeah, ball right at his hands.
Yeah, but Robert's throw placed very well. And we see Sheng this time taking it, and I think there was a shot connecting sort of behind Sheng onto, I believe that's GIE Pham. Haven't seen a lot of him. Oh wow, some good exchanges from Mexico as they find some connections.
Right on the pocket, but strong.
And just like that, it's a 3-on-3.
It's amazing. You get to the point at this high a level where you're taught throw below the knees, unless you can throw really, really hard.
Yeah. Well, and especially a lot of these players, especially on the Malaysian side, so good at jumping and so good at hitting. De La Riva hit out on the corner.
Yeah, and you still need a mid-level throw because if players are always low,
yeah,
they have a ball. It's just very difficult. Oh, he's staying alive. Oh.
And Pyong, I think, hit out.
Yeah.
Looks like he's not sure what happened. Oh, big shot.
Right to the hip.
Yeah, Sheng connecting solidly there on Valdez. And once again, Andy Metaquin, final player standing for Mexico.
So do you have a term for when a player is often a survivor like this?
No.
I've heard of anchor, but that seems to be like a player. I like the term, but at the same time, it seems to indicate a player who might hold the team down. And it's the opposite in this case.
Yeah, he's holding his own right now.
Mr. Survivor, Metaquin.
Yeah, his throw pulls down Sheng, and now it's a one-on-one. Metaquin alone. Oh, the player on the ground.
The teddy bear didn't work.
And I think that was a stumble. I don't think that was a deliberate one. So Metaquin knew he had to take that opportunity.
What a win.
Yeah, so much needed momentum and hype for the Mexican side as they get their third point. Down 7-3. But still pretty early. They can still come back on this match, I think. Just under 18 minutes to play in the second half.
At the very least, you'd hope for just if they can get a little bit quicker and more accurate on their opening rush. It's one of the areas that there's an early deficit for them.
Yeah, I mean, on this one, they were able to come back from the loss of 2 players, but, I mean, you're not going to want to count on that. I mean, Malaysia's fast, but there are a few ways you can try to mitigate it. You can try to play it a little more defensively. We actually see Mexico with 2 balls on the inside, choosing to do it defensively.
Now, that said, when you see the 2 balls on the inside, it doesn't always mean a defensive play, especially if the team is quite smart on realizing that to be unconventional might lead to have a, like we saw, they still pitch the ball back.
And they find their shot there. That was Stephen Rodriguez. Oh man, I'm not going to try to roll my R's too much more.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, that was better. That was better. And nice jump there. I think that was Pyong clearing the ball. Mexico to the line. And yeah, those fakes, very believable.
One thing I also noticed at this high level is a lot more solo throws. When you're at the lower level, kind of growing up, you're going to learn never throw alone.
Yeah.
But these players, it's a much more common tactic that I noticed is kind of one shot back and forth.
Oh, there's a good shot through the blocker. Yeah, I think at this level, pretty much everybody has a throw that they can use by themselves. And we see that shot.
Okay, good call.
Yeah, Carmona. Yeah, I think the players are going to want to be careful. They don't want to point across the line too much. We have seen warnings issued for that, and I think we just saw 1 for 1. And now a 1 for 0.
Not quite fast enough on that block.
Metaquin manages to connect with Robert on the right side. Malaysia still with 4, though. And Huicochea going low, avoiding that throw. He is a smart player. And we see this time it's Metaquin letting it go, and yeah, he stands his ground. That's a good time to take that second ball and let her rip.
Well, and you also have number 22 there that has a ball himself. So it wasn't dumping all the balls.
Yeah, he had protection from the teammate. Always helpful. And now it's a slightly more manageable 2-on-3 for Mexico.
One thing I'm a little bit surprised right now is there's no timeouts called.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I felt like a quick match so far, and I think partly because there's been continuous games, not too much stoppage.
Big shot onto Huikachea. Yeah, I love the pace of this one. Both teams high
Go home
energy.
early. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it helps to get a good night's sleep before tomorrow's matches.
Oh yes. Well, and also like you said, there's positive. There's little to no infractions, and teams aren't needing to take timeouts to kind of reset their energy.
Quinn threatening to throw another.
Mr. Survivor, like we said.
I like that he's still showing good aggressiveness and confidence and elusiveness there. Yeah, we see Pham kind of putting some pressure on, absorbing that ball. Pyong's shot bouncing off.
You see great conditioning in Mandaquin. The amount of times he's been in this 1v situation and still active, athletic, and strong throws.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job of blocking, getting low behind those balls. I think he managed to tag the ball retriever there.
Now I think with Mandaquin, he'd be someone who could take on that 3 balls.
Yeah.
Like in this situation, he dumps both, but if he had that 3rd one already...
He's like, give me that other one. Woo! Survives, though.
Yeah. Good work by the retriever on the sidelines.
And Meadowquin, he's a force out there.
Yeah.
Not able to connect. He's having to throw, obviously, from a pretty far distance. He's got a bit of a smile on his face. Always love it. Yeah, those are still being blocked very well. I believe that's number 12. Gia Pham still holding down the right side, this time going toward the middle.
So likely 1 ball.
Meadowquin again taking a shot.
And it gets him.
Yeah. I mean, he hung in there pretty well. You see.
Again and again, too.
Yeah, his teammates giving him the congrats.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets a bit of a sit, but slowing down. Okay, there you go. Switching up players.
Yeah, he gets a break. From the far court, a small update. Italy now 8-1 over Norway. And as we get back to it, we got 14 minutes remaining in this half. 8-3 lead for Malaysia.
Boy, the inside player for Malaysia.
Oh, and I see a catch!
Oh!
Wow!
And a catch by the retriever as the toss back to him. Lots of balls for Mexico right now.
Yeah, great grab by Rodriguez. We saw Pyong telling his team to settle, stay calm, keep doing what you're doing, but
up and down surviving.
That's going to be some much needed energy, I think, for Team Mexico. And a graze, I think, onto De La Riva.
Coordinating the play.
And the counter attack coming right away.
A little bit of a cross.
Yeah, coordinating the play is important at this level because you need to mix up what you're doing on offense. The players defensively are also so good that if you just make it obvious what you're doing, you probably won't connect.
Well, and then you want to coordinate because if everyone thinks they're going to throw, and they do, then you're left vulnerable as a team.
Well, that's true too.
And then particularly, like, coordinating is like, I'll throw, then you throw.
Yeah. Staggering the timing sometimes. Yeah.
Or, you know, you look at the right guard, I'll throw at the left guard.
Oh, wow. We saw the attempt to do the shadow catching thing, but Robert hit out. And now we've got the attack countering coming from. No, they just hold back. They're going to set up a play instead.
Some shadow catching that I've loved so far was Team Canada, when they were in a 2-ball defense situation, they pushed up 2 players that had the balls and then shadowed the other players behind them.
You see a big hit, Sanchez blocking on the return, but Pyong hit out, and now 3 left for Malaysia.
It's been a good set for Mexico so far, even while Mr. Survivor sits.
And that ball in dangerous territory right in the middle. Huikachea gets away.
Too aggressive.
Yeah. We see Ng kind of holding him back.
See that there was a bit of a loop to that throw, which is what he wanted.
Sanchez tried for another catch there. Unable to find it. Or sorry, that was Rodriguez. Huikachea showing a bit of pressure. He takes a shot and misses. And now what's difficult is only 1 ball in hand for Team Mexico.
And they're not doing a no Canada, I noticed.
That's true. See Huikache coming up, maybe trying to draw in another throw, but Malaysia not biting. Valdez coming up as well. Huikache gets away from that throw, and that soft attempt from him. A second one.
He's alive!
Wow.
Okay, great work on his part to soft toss the ball at the Malaysian player. It didn't work out, but also great work by his teammates to stay on the player.
Yeah, you want your teammates to cover you there.
They didn't leave him for dead.
Wow.
And it's really paid off in this situation.
Yeah, I'm sure Malaysia wishes they'd played that a little differently, but we see Pham still in it, really low behind those two balls.
They've got the ball, their turn on offense.
Pham lets a high one go.
Good catch by the retriever. Wearing the jersey, so likely a fellow teammate.
Yeah. They're all Team Mexico here. Nice block. That was actually Sanchez. And we see Mexico to the line, and I think they... Nope, not quite.
He had the look of someone who was somewhat defeated when he kind of paused there.
Yeah, oh, Valdez gets knocked out. Great shot.
I love them. It's almost like they're taught to throw from the gray line. So low, so agile. And like one thing you'll note here is like the physicality of the Malaysian players. Their like hip flexibility blows my mind. I tried to learn a play called the sploot, where you're putting your knees out and you're kind of go down to the ground.
Yep.
I embarrassed myself with my inability to move my hips.
One of only one reasons that you're not out there in Canada here.
If only I had more flexible hips. But you know, if you're used to throwing or playing baseball, it's one thing that this is a dodgeball specific move. The way they can kind of squat low.
Yeah, definitely dodgeball demands kind of a combination of things that I don't think any other sport demands from you. So
truly, and well, name another like six-ball sport as well. Just the fact that there's constant action.
Quidditch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we don't have a special golden one.
That's true.
And we don't bludgeon each other, thankfully.
No, not in this league. Carmona hit out. And now it's down to a 2-on-2. Some good patient play at this point. Malaysia opting to slow it down a bit. 9 minutes remaining in the match. And we see, nope, not taking the shot there.
Good 2v2 situation.
And yeah, I think that was a graze. We could just hear it on Huikache. That is leaving just his teammate Sanchez. Anthony Sanchez, who I don't think has been the last man standing for Mexico yet, as he's often been the first man out on the rush. Malaysia able to target him pretty effectively.
And we'll see the effect of not being able to take him out might happen here.
Leave me alive, will you? And, ooh, close. Close shot. I think we've got a little slowdown in the action. 8-3 Malaysia. They don't need to rush the play here. Pham going low behind the balls. Malaysia attack. Nope, Sanchez taking his shot.
So in this situation, Malaysia doesn't mind if it's a slow set right here. Oh
wow! I thought
close
that.
But not quite. I thought he had it.
Yeah.
I think it went down and hit his knee.
Yeah. Yeah, he got both of his blocking balls up and then down, but not quite able to cleanly deal with it. So good work from Team Mexico, but Malaysia still the better execution right now, winning 9-3. 8 minutes remaining in the match.
One thing I'm noticing is it's quite loose shorts that Mexico plays with. I think it might have even just hit his shorts versus his knee.
Huh.
They're playing with like basketball style shorts.
I am kind of wondering if we get to a world where all the players are just in like tights.
Tights, yeah.
Minimize that surface area.
Oh, there's a difference. Like you can see tighter shorts on Malaysia.
Yeah.
The top level team from previous years. Feel like if it's gonna hit a little bit of pocket, it was gonna hit you anyways.
Yeah.
And it's it's so hard for anyone to see or feel a shot that close.
That said, I've been threatening to start playing dodgeball in one of those one-strap unitards that wrestlers sometimes
I
wear.
think you need to go all out. And like, what is the sort of more Mexican wrestler? What is that? The
Lucha Libre.
Lucha Libre. You can wear the mask as well.
Yeah.
Might affect visibility a little bit, but if you've got hair, which one of us here does, you can pull that back.
That's right.
Imagine like a little skull cap of like the way swimmers play.
I mean, just shave your head for dodgeball. I think that's.
I've seen some long hair players here. And
Yeah.
It's really especially long haired and mobile. Like if you spin around, your hair is a part of your body and you can be hit.
Yeah, we'll see that when we see New Zealand again. Some magnificent hair. Ooh, I see a false start called.
Okay, now that is the first for them of this.
I always feel a little bad for whichever player was the reason for that whistle, because you just kind of see the referee pointing right at that guy.
You know what you did. Maybe you didn't, but one thing I am noticing that I was very curious about actually, going back to the line of clothing, no hats. It always surprises me when a player in other environments wears a hat during dodgeball.
And I think we've actually seen some of the Italian men wearing hats.
Oh, okay, I'll keep a lookout for it.
Ravichandran's throw missing. I think we see. Ooh, that was close. But somehow nobody eliminated in that scramble off the rush. Quinn right up at the line. Oh, and that ball pops up, but it is not going to be a catchable one. De La Riva hit out. And Mexico down a body, 2 bodies at this point. As Huicochea also out, and there. Ravichandran trying that thing that I think we've seen the Canadians doing a lot, kind of pioneering a much more aggressive last man standing thing. We see the far corner hit out as well. So some good shots by Mexico, building a bit of momentum for themselves.
Yep.
4 on 4.
Burden over to Malaysia. That was the last shot fired.
And we see Quinn throwing, and I think he got retaliated on.
Vulnerable to that cross court that moment.
Yeah, but it was a 1-for-1. As we see Lowe exiting the court.
Down to 3v3.
So
it hasn't always been an even match, but there's been so many even sets. It's been very enjoyable the whole time.
Yeah, there are quite a few points where they've come down to, a 1-on-1 or a 1-on-2, something like that, and just a little bit better execution sometimes from Malaysia.
Well, and like over the course of 40 minutes, being 20% more accurate will have an effect, or having 10% more efficient strategy. That's what's great about seeing like a full game like this.
And that's actually part of what you'll often see too, is that the difference between these players and these teams sometimes is just who actually is able to execute in those clutch situations. As we see Valdez hit out. Malaysia has so much experience and so much ability to just clutch out some of those moments when it's tight.
Yep. That's what also experience does.
See Carmona with a good block, sends that one a bit high, he's in dangerous territory. We see the retaliation shot eliminating Rodriguez. And 1-on-3 now. This is one of those moments where if you want to come up clutch, you probably will. We'll want to do it here. Carmona goes low. Ooh.
Oh my!
I think he may have been grazed and just kind of sagged back toward the line.
Just a little slow descent to the ground. Is he wearing glasses? It's funny, as a player, a guy wearing glasses asking if someone else is wearing glasses.
I think he might be, because you can kind of see
the line.
And at the back of his head, you can kind of see one of those straps that,
That was a real difference maker for me. I once went to a nationals tournament, and I started putting tape on the sides of my glasses to try and keep them still. Until another player from Quebec did an impression of me by pushing their hand to show that me like adjusting my glasses.
Yeah.
And then I got a whole set of the straps, and it's made a world of difference.
Well, that's good to hear.
I did once get hit in the strap, as it flipped up.
That seems unlikely, but I guess it can happen.
Well, some of these players, as we've seen, have such great arcs to their throws.
Yeah. You see Lowe's throw doing damage there. Valdez knocked out. Mexico with a little over 5 minutes remaining. They're going to want to do some damage. Huicochea knocked out.
I feel like also Mexico has very similar throws to Malaysia, except not necessarily as much movement to the ball.
Yeah, very powerful throws, but I think you're right, not quite as much curve.
Some players, even kind of lower level players like myself, a strong, powerful, straight throw is quite catchable, because you don't have to put much movement into your body, and they're very much like a muscle memory reaction.
Yeah, a hard throw put right at that belly button level is pretty catchable for a lot of players.
It's very reactionary, right?
You see Carmona he turned a little bit away from what he thought the throw would be, and he got hit on the hip.
Which was a great example right there. There's something about that throw that was different than what he was expecting.
And now, no surprise that of these last two Team Mexico players, one of them is Andy Marroquin. Teleriva on the other side, and we see in the back and forth, I think Marroquin is okay. But still 6 strong for Team Malaysia.
Up fake, follow-up throw. Cross.
Oh, and Ravichandran I think he maybe was trying to reach a little bit when he realized that was coming in for his feet.
Well, I think he might have been stepping back and then saw his peripherals. Oh!
Oh, wow.
Long, deep throw.
That was almost as far as you can go.
Which shows the strength of their throws. That was uncatchable for that player.
That is not a shot that I will often want to take. Cross corner.
No.
And Marroquin with some fast feet comes up, draws attention away for De La Riva. And now that Lowe is exiting, we see a 2-on-3. Mexico has been able to carve down their opponents a little bit. And wow, great movement.
Yeah, especially just pulling his leg up and out.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Again, that's a hip movement. If you're ever trying to train with kind of pulling one leg out, the peeing dog.
Yeah. I don't know if that name will catch, but I like it. And Mexico up to the line. This shot swatted away by Marroquin, confirming that was a good block. Seemed to give a little thumbs up to his opponents. And there's a shot.
Hard and accurate through the ball. And now 1v3. Our man, the survivor.
Marroquin once again, the last man standing. I think a little bit of a drop curve on that one.
Arced up and over. The Malaysian player able to stay very low.
Yeah, that was close, but it did bounce. Nice block. You see Marroquin still playing it patiently.
Yeah. And he's got high energies. He steps about. No indication of fatigue. Strong, accurate throws.
Maybe he's not even feeling the fatigue. I would
Some
be.
of these players have incredible conditioning.
Marroquin electing to throw.
He's had some low throws at him, keeping him fairly safe. Adjusting the ball in his hands. 2
minutes remaining in this match. Marroquin gets to get hit.
And I'm going to sign out.
Yeah, there are ride reasons for my cohort Ben here to take off, but he's going to do so. So I'm going to carry you home to the rest of this match. Everybody needs to show up here safe and on time tomorrow. So we got a little bit more action to come here. Here, the sideline cheering on their boy Marroquin. It is 1-on-2 for him. Just under 2 minutes remaining. Malaysia nursing an 11-3 lead. Marroquin eludes that shot as well. He hops up. He plants his feet. He takes a shot. He slides under a ball. Good mobility out of Andy Marroquin. And now let's see if he can cash in with a throw. That one going a little high. Marroquin safe. He comes up to challenge. That was close. The referees, just acknowledging something on the court. Yeah, I just want to make sure there's nothing on the court for players to slip on, and play resumes. We see a couple of throws coming toward Marroquin. He blocks it low. And Pham not able to connect on that one. Ooh, good shot. Marroquin very good at getting low under these shots, behind his blocking balls. And that was another good one, another good block, both sides showing their blocking skills here. And who knows, this point now in its final minute, it might take us all the way to sudden death. Oh, never mind. Every time you say something like that. Marroquin just kind of grazed on the lower body there. And 50 seconds remaining. Malaysia up 12-3. Marroquin going to get another break, well deserved. Even though he hasn't been able to close out some of these points where he's been left alone, I love his play style. Active, threatening at the right moments, good blocking, but Malaysia's execution just connecting. I think that was Pham's ball just Really solid. Update from the far court. Late in that match, we've got Italy up 10-2 on Norway. Italy going to look for a win and push themselves maybe a little bit higher in the standings. And off the rush, both teams playing it a little bit more safe. 45 seconds to go. And it is on Malaysia to throw. And we see a big shot coming toward the middle. Does not connect though. We got the 30-second call coming out from the timekeeper. And there's a catch. We haven't seen a lot of that in this match, but that was a solid one. Rodriguez is out. And now on the offensive, Mexico missing, but we do see Zhang hit out on the side. I believe that's the first point we've seen from him. 5 seconds remaining. Before sudden death, we see those throws coming. And I don't actually know that there was a casualty from any of that, so we're going to go to sudden death, no blocking. Both teams start with 3 balls. But any ball you're holding can be considered an extension of your body. So you will potentially be knocked out if a ball comes in and connects with one you're holding. And this is going to be the last set of the night. Thursday, November 28th, in these 2019 World Dodgeball Federation Championships. Team Mexico facing off against defending champions Malaysia in the men's division. And some good shots taking out a couple of players. Oh, big effort. Big effort from Sanchez trying to extend for that ball. But no luck. Mexico down to just 2. Malaysia trying to draw in those balls. Nice active dodges. Team Mexico doesn't need your balls. Now Malaysia, 6 players, each one holding. And on the offensive, they connect. And so Malaysia finishing strong. The final point will go their way. They got a dozen. Mexico with 3 of their own. And that is going to cap off the action for this particular day. We do still have the match between Italy and Norway happening on the other side. But as for on the main court, that is the last one to happen. So just as we wait for this handshake line to get underway, I'm going to quickly recap for you what we're going to see on the main court tomorrow. We're going to see USA and Australia in the men's division starting things off at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Hong Kong and Mexico men's following them. And then a women's match between Mexico and the USA, followed by a men's match, Mexico and Canada. And then we've got back-to-back USA versus Canada matches. We've got the women at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed by the men at 4:30. 6 o'clock, we'll see Canada and Australia in the women's division facing off, capped by Mexico versus USA in the men's division. That'll just about do it for us here in Cancun tonight. So I'm going to sign off. My name is Terry Thrasher, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. Take care.